very, very much. All right, Mississippi Republican Senator, Senate Rules Committee member Roger Wicker. Senator, very good to have you. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, glad to be here.
Do you think that's a possibility, the ill will between Senators Corker, Flake, and the president, that it translates into no votes on this thing?
I don't think that's very much of a possibility, and I think Blake was right on point there. These three senators and the rest of us are going to vote for what we believe is best for the country, and clearly our tax system is out of date. It doesn't serve the purpose of economic growth or job creation, and I think we're on the verge with a good vote in the House probably tomorrow to move with our Senate-passed budget. I think that'll save us 3 weeks and put us on a fast track toward getting a tax cut for job creators and more take-home pay for American workers.
You know, one of the things that interested me in what Senator Flake said is he stated what a lot of you and your colleagues are thinking, that this president worries you. Does he?
Well, he didn't state what I'm thinking, and of course I'm like a lot of folks that have been on your show. I'm very result oriented, and I'm very pleased actually that the president spent so much time yesterday talking about the results that this administration, with the help of this Congress, has gotten in the first 9 months, and this includes, of course, a whole sea change on the federal courts, including
no
Justice,
doubt. But
Gorsuch.
Senator Corker said of that meeting, sir, that tax cuts actually didn't come up that much. Is that true?
No, that is not true.
Okay.
No, we had a discussion, and actually Pat Toomey, who is going to be very much involved in writing the specifics of the tax bill, had a great exchange with the president. So no, I think maybe the senator missed that part of the discussion or maybe forgot it.
Was there any friction at that meeting, sir, between those two senators? Anyone else, for that matter?
There was absolutely no friction whatsoever.
So you were all collegial
at the meeting
and nice.
Yesterday. It was a great meeting. I thought it was great to revisit what we've been able to accomplish together. And there's this sort of a popular misconception out there that we haven't done a lot. He talked about the 70 bills and actually went back to the Truman administration and said we haven't had so many bills passed by a new president and signed by a new administration since the Truman days. So we've got a lot more to do, and we've had disappointments with health care, and we need to get back to repeal and replace of Obamacare. But we are about to deliver some real tax reform, some real tax cuts to the average American middle-class worker, and if we do this, we're going to give a jolt to the economy, the likes of which we haven't seen in 8 or 10 years.
It could be a dicey road to that point. As you know, Senator, the House right now will vote on this Senate budget, the ones that you crafted, and some of them are concerned about deductions that are in, deductions that should be out, and there's no guarantee that passes with that. Are you worried?
I'm not worried. I'm mindful that there's a lot of ways to trip and a lot of banana peels to slip on, but I think we're going to see a great indication tomorrow with an overwhelming Republican majority for this budget, and that will save us weeks in the process and move us more toward tax cuts on President Trump's desk by Thanksgiving. And that's what I'm gearing for. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I believe we can do it, and I believe we will do it, and we ought to do it.
All right. Then lastly, sir, some of the ways to arrive at the numbers to pay for these tax cuts, if you're in the camp that says you have to, is phasing out deductions for state local taxes for the upper income, at least. Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, is open to that. There's been talk as well about phasing out deductibility as well for 401k plans. The president originally opposed to that, but I understand the House Ways and Means Chief, Kevin Brady, is not. Your thoughts?
Well, okay, Kevin Brady did come back and make some suggestions publicly today to the president. What I'm going to decline to do, if you don't mind, is negotiate the deals, the details of this tax bill in the media. I just think
could you whisper
the more
it to
we
me?
stake ourselves
just
out publicly. Okay, I tell you what, I'll give you a call about 11:45 tonight if I've picked up anything.
Okay, but finally, sir, all these comments that the Senators Corker and Flake have made in Senator Flake's case continue to make on the president, that he's not stable, that he's a danger. You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that, and I don't see how that's helpful to the process. I know these senators realize we need tax reform and tax cuts for American workers. This bill would be a good bill for American workers, and I just don't see how those comments are helpful when we have such a narrow margin and we're so close to a really, really outstanding victory for American workers.
All right, Senator, thank you very much for taking the time. I always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.